Hello,
Hi.
good evening, and welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Wow, you look absolutely fabulous. Look at the colors. Seems like you looked at this, what do you call it, this background, and dressed right up to the T. Good to see you.
Thank you. It's a coincidence. I was
Wonderful.
surprised that I'm actually representing the colors of
Of
Ombe Ex Students Association, North America.
wonderful. So, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm called Catherine Kiki, a wife of Dr. Peter Kiki, an ex-student of Ombe, 1976 to...
So, was this a plan? Did you meet in Ombe?
Oh, actually not. It's just a coincidence.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. Great. So, yeah, tell us yeah, about your Ombe days.
I went to Ombe, GTHS Ombe, in the year 1991, the high school. I happen to have been the first assistant senior prefect girls for the industrial section. I studied home economics, specialized in food and nutrition.
Wonderful. So I hear, what year was this? What was your batch?
Oh, that was 1991.
1991
with Mr.
batch.
Ndip Henry Agwo as the principal.
Okay. I heard a lot of stuff, good stuff about Mr. Deep. And could you just give us some, the juice?
Yeah.
Number when you were there.
He was a very strict administrator, and his motto was moral rectitude. I think I am what I am today and who I am today thanks to Mr. Ndip, thanks to the values he instilled in me. When I left Ombe, I moved to prestigious Seka Baptist College, where I taught for 15 years as a teacher.
Wow.
And I taught the examination class. I taught Form 5. And during all those years, you'll be surprised that all my students had A grade in food and nutrition.
Okay. So you talked about
GCE.
In the GCE.
Yes.
So you now I think you mentioned that in your batch, you were the first batch, first female batch in Ombe. Could you tell us what that was like?
Oh, it was very challenging because all along Ombe had been a single-sex school. So when the girls came, especially in the high school, the boys were like, "Oh, these girls have come to infringe into our rights."
I would have been happy to have.
Oh no, they weren't happy. They weren't happy. You know, African men, they like to be the boss, always the boss. They don't like to be bossed.
Okay.
So they were like, "These girls are coming to boss us." The boys in the building construction shop, they gave me hard time as a prefect. When I give them instructions, they will not want to take, they will not take. But thanks to the administration at the time, Mr. Mb and Mr. Osung. Mr. Mb was the discipline master, and also the principal. Oh, they gave me a lending hand, and we had to work on the guys, and finally we became friends.
Wonderful.
But I executed my duty as a prefect.
Okay, that's great. So today we're here for this inaugural event. What would you say today? I mean, I think it's a beautiful thing, but what would you say to people, who are not here and probably, the reason for why we're having this event?
Well, I will start with the positive. I will say kudos to all those who made it, who are here, who have come to make this day a great day. To those of you who are not here, I will tell you you're missing a lot. But this is just the first. Come on, next time we're waiting on you. Put on your dancing shoes. It is awesome. You can see from the hall. You can see from beautiful, amazing, intelligent ex-students like Mr. Zama, I have in front of me.
Thank you.
He was way ahead of me, and he's coming far out of Maryland. He has come, he has sacrificed just to come and meet old friends and to make Ombe a better place. So together we can.
Okay, so what do you think, and I know we're here probably to continue the Ombe's legacy. How did Ombe prepare you for life today?
Well, Ombe prepared me a great deal. It prepared me for the job market. When I left Ombe, like I said, I went straight to Seka Baptist College to teach. It was very challenging. Our teachers at the time were Francophones, and they had this nonchalant attitude of not coming to school. So we had to go look into our syllabus and, study on our own to make sure we passed the baccalaureate. And in my batch, we had 100% for probatoire and baccalaureate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks to GTHS Ombe. Thanks to, I can say, I give a credit to those teachers because unknowingly they didn't know they were preparing us, making us to be dedicated. So that was Ombe at the time.
So tell us a little bit about your life now.
Oh, presently in the United States, I'm a civil engineer. I work in Prince George's County. The project you see in front of University of Maryland College Park, that is where I work presently. That's the project I'm working on presently.
So, coming from Ombe and with, I want to say people who know Ombe, you came out as, you studied food nutrition, home economics, and now you're a civil engineer. How did that transition happen?
Yeah, so I would just want to tell people that they shouldn't limit themselves. Food and nutrition is a social science. In Ombe, though we're nutrition students, people looked low on us, thinking that being a nutrition student, you are just a cook. Being a tailor, you are just a cook. No. While in Ombe, we did physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology. And you'll be surprised to know that during the probatoire and baccalaureate exams, you had to pass these sciences before your trade subjects. So when they start marking, the first subjects that are marked are the sciences. Once, as you fail the sciences, they don't even go into your trade subjects. So Ombe really prepared me. So when I came to America, I went to school. Sciences was not a problem because it's something I had background from Ombe.
So what would you tell these young students Ombe students who are growing up?
I would tell them that they shouldn't limit themselves. There's a lot of opportunity, especially with Ombe North America. They have a good package. They have a good intention for the school. We can see we have water. The school did not used to have water. We have water, running water, 24/7 on campus, thanks to Ombe North America. They have, in fact, they feel for the school. They have a lot in their package to give to the students. So they don't have any reason to complain. In our days in Ombe, we did not have what they have now. Nobody cared about us. But we who have passed through Ombe, we know the difficulties and we know the value of technical education. That's why we want to tell them that they should not feel intimidated by the grammar school students because they can do it. They can do better than the grammar school student. While in Ombe, I did organic chemistry. So no grammar school student can come and tell me chemistry or physics. No, no, no. In the office, I teach, I approve reports of people who had been civil engineers, in fact, who are ahead of me. But thanks to Ombe, at times they tell me, this woman from Africa, what does she think she is? Why is she rejecting our results? No, because in Ombe, like my husband used to say, they teach us to measure thrice and to cut once.
Wonderful. That is quite an encouraging message. Well, I don't want to hold you too long. I want to thank you for taking this time to talk to us. And I want to say thank you out there. And could you say who you are again so people can remember?
Yeah, I'm Catherine Harry Kiki, wife of Dr. Peter Mwambo Kiki, an ex-student of Ombe. From Ombe, he went to service school. From service school, he worked in Highways Limbe and proceeded to Kumba Highways as a subdivisional chief of highways. And then he moved to the United States, and he's still doing what he was doing in construction in Cameroon. He is now the director of P3, in charge of quality assurance and quality control in Maryland State Highway Administration.
Wonderful. So that's to tell you that Ombe has no limits.
Yep.
Ombe like opens the door to everybody.
Sure.
Now we have a graduate. She's now a civil engineer, and a husband who is a doctorate and controlling in the white man's country. So please stick with Ombe and believe in Ombe, and let's go. Thank you. Hello. Good
Hi.
afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine.
My name is Benjamin Zama, and you are?
Edwin Changa.
Okay, could you tell me a little bit about yourself? You must be an ex-Ombe, right?
Yes,
Okay,
actually.
so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My name Edwin Banta Changa. Yeah, I'm an ex-Ombe. I went to Ombe in 2002 and I left in 2006. I did civil engineering. I graduated from Ombe in the F4. So from there I pursued to survey school, and then presently I'm in the US. I have a bachelor's degree in building and structural engineering. Yeah, so that's who I am.
That's wonderful. So you 2002 batch?
Yeah, 2002.
That's a very young,
batch.
very
Yeah.
young batch then.
Yeah, actually, Ombe North America, I'm the youngest in
You're
terms
the
of age
No
and in
kidding.
terms of graduation age.
Really?
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
Well, welcome. So
That's why I'm happy to be among my parents, my older, let me say, my older peers. Yes.
So you said you're in the building construction?
Yes, I did building and construction.
Okay. So, okay. How did you get into Ombe, and why? Why did you get into Ombe?
Okay. Yeah, my educational background is that when I completed primary school, I started with general education. I left general education in Form 3, and then I started SAR SM. I went to SAR SM now for 2 years, and then when I graduated from SAR SM, I came to Ombe, and in 2002 I enrolled in Ombe, because when you graduate from SAR, you have to come to Ombe in order to continue.
So that was like the high school
That was like high school section. So
Okay.
I came in Ombe in Form 2. Then from there in Form 2, I went right up to the final year, which is Form 7, and I had my baccalaureate in GTHS Ombe. Yes, so Ombe has been the foundation of what I am and who I am in life today, because in Ombe they taught us morals, they taught us how to be disciplined, and in Ombe they taught us how to be problem solvers. You have to be creative, because as a technician, as somebody who, especially in civil engineering, you're going to be building structures that people will be passing and seeing. So anything that you're doing, you have to be sure that by the time you leave, the people that are coming, they might not be technicians, they might not have the eyes that you are having, and so they will have their own things to say. So you make sure that what you are doing should have little or no complaint to any other person that is not of the field. Let the person of the field see the mistakes, see the errors, and they'll be able to understand the challenges that you were having. But when people who are not of the field, when they see it, it is a disgrace to your profession. So that is what our teacher always told us, Mr. Ajang. He told us that as you are here as a civil engineer, know that when you go out there, the least mistake that you do in designing, you will kill hundreds of people. But don't know that a doctor might make a mistake and one person will die and they'll bury the person. But when a civil engineer makes a mistake, a structure collapse, kills hundreds of people. So that's why they don't play with civil engineering.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So today we're here to inaugurate Ombe North America.
Yeah.
So what do you give us some perspective? What do you think about? How do you think this? What importance would you give to this event that's happening today?
Yeah. Actually, I knew about Oosa when I was in Ombe in 2002 during the Golden Jubilee. Yeah, that was my first year in Ombe. Though I was in Form 2, was my first year in Ombe. And it happened that the year I went to Ombe, Ombe was 50 years. And so they were celebrating the Golden Jubilee. And so people came from far and wide to come and celebrate the Golden Jubilee. That's when I heard about Oosa, Ombe Old Students Association. And when we saw those big people And those great people, when they came like that, they inspired us. They make us to know that we have to work hard. And one thing I said to myself was that if these people are here and they pass through Ombe, then I'll be somewhere too in future. So I have to work hard because they are there because they work hard. So if I work hard, I'll be able to make it. And thank God I'm here today witnessing the Ombe North America, the inaugural convention. And it happens that this inaugural convention is happening when Ombe is 70. Yeah, from 1952 to 2002, Ombe is 70 years old. And so I have witnessed when Ombe was 50, there was an occasion. And when Ombe is 70, I've witnessed an occasion, which means I'm part of Ombe.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So what do you say to the young ones who are still in Ombe or who are still thinking of going to Ombe?
Well, Ombe, we used to say Ombe is a place to be. When you go to Ombe, Ombe will teach you that you have to search for those opportunities that are hidden in challenges, because opportunities are hidden in challenges. So when you are in Ombe, you have to go through a lot. Yeah, we used to trek from Mutengene to Ombe. Not poverty, but because of the situation at that time, and because of the quest for education, and because we knew what the future had for us too. So that alone was a big training. And then again, when you are in Ombe, the discipline that they give you. Some people will say people from Ombe, they are very tough, the students are wild, this and that. No, that is not the perspective. If you go to Ombe, you are trained to be somebody that you can be independent. Because when they leave you that anything they do it for you, you will not know how to do things yourself. So in Ombe, they teach you to be independent and they teach you how to look and create for solutions where there are problems. But you should not be a problem creator, but if you find a problem, you should solve it. So if you are a child out there and you're planning to go to Ombe, I will tell you the child, tell your parent you love to go to Ombe. And for you, the parent, don't hesitate. Send them to Ombe. At first, they thought that technical school was for the dull one in the family. But yes, if they say it was for the dull one, but those dull ones are the people that have uplifted many families. Because when you graduate from Ombe, you easily have a job. And while in Ombe, I was working. I would go to the chantier, to the site, do some jobs, be able to buy my, we call it round by then, buy my puff-puff. I'll be able to keep myself up. But while my peers who are in the general education, we are not saying that general education is not bad, but we are saying that with the current world that we are living in and how things are evolving, so technical education is good and it is faster way to have money. I mean, money that will be your money, not the money that they're giving it to you. You'll be able to, while you are in Ombe, you'll be able, if you, if you are in carpentry, you'll be able to nail a kitchen bench. If you are in a home economy, they'll teach you how to make cake. If you go to weddings and you say you can do a cake, and the first thing that if you do the first one good, you have customers. So anything that you're doing and you are in Ombe presently, do it to the best of your knowledge, and you will sell yourself. And for those who want to come to Ombe, please come to Ombe, and you will enjoy it. If you are happy seeing some of us like you, Mr. Zama, you are from Ombe, and the rest of the people that are here with us in this inaugural occasion, they are from Ombe. So when you see them and you are happy that you admire us, know that what you are going through, we went through it. And maybe we went through things that are tougher than what you are facing now. So, and we did it. So you can still do it. So don't relent yourself wherever you find yourself. Work hard and you will succeed. And when you succeed, you will come back to testify as we are testifying today.
Wonderful. Great advice. Could you repeat who you were again so people who came after can know who you are?
Okay. So I am, my name in Ombe list should be Changang Edwin Banta. So when you come to the US, they reverse the name. So in the US, my name is Edwin Banta Changang. Yeah. But in Ombe, if you go to the list, you see my name as Changang Edwin Banta. So I graduated from Ombe in 2006. That's where I had my bac. And my CAP, my probatoire, and my baccalaureate all from Ombe. So
Wonderful.
they used to say that you don't take it once, but I did everything straight. Yes. So.
Well, it was good talking to you. I really appreciate you.
Likewise.
And thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right. Enjoy the occasion.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Nope. Go around. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good to see you.
Nice meeting you as well.
Yes. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Solomon Agbo. I hold a doctorate degree in public health, and I've been doing public health for the last 15 years. I live in Laurel, Maryland, and I'm presently the president of Oosa, North America.
Wonderful, wonderful. And that's why we're here today, or part of why we're here today. Now, you can see we're here for the Ombe inaugural, Ombe All Students Association North America inaugural event.
Right.
So, and you are one of the, the instrumental figures in making this occasion here today happen. Could you tell us a little bit about your connection to Ombe?
Absolutely. So Ombe actually laid a powerful, strong foundation for me. When I left the primary school in 1972, that's like a million years ago now, I did what any young man my age or my time would do. I did my homework, passed passed the common entrance, mostly in list A, and on 2 or 3 occasions I couldn't make it through the interview. And finally, I got to Ombe in 1976. That was such a wonderful time for me. And I spent 4 years in Ombe College, graduated. I was trained in building construction. While I was there, it was quite a rich experience.
Okay. That's interesting that you went from building construction to doctorate in public health.
Yeah.
How was the transition? What was that transition?
Yeah. It's what can I tell you? It's just when you find opportunities and they show up, you take them, exploit them. So it's a very long story, but the long and short of it is that I migrated to the U.S., and civil engineering was not very friendly to me. The environment was not very friendly to continue civil engineering. And so I realized that I had a calling in helping people. So I went into I did my bachelor's degree in what they call physician assistant studies, because I realized that I had a calling in helping people. So when I did that, and I worked as a clinician for several years, another opportunity showed up. I was like, okay, it's not just about helping individuals. I felt I had a calling to help population, so communities. So that's what pushed me into public health. And when I graduated with my public health degree, I was fortunate to get a job with the University of Maryland. And I left for East Africa, where I worked for about 10 years, combating HIV/AIDS at the time. Just a wonderful experience for me, and I'll be forever grateful to have that opportunity.
Folks, that's just to tell you that Ombe is not limiting. You can go from building construction, carpentry, to whatever you put your mind to. Now, turning back to this event tonight, as I said before, you are one of the main persons behind what's happening today. Tell us how that came about.
Oh, it's very exciting to me. Absolutely very exciting to me. So as I came here, I had been contemplating what to do in terms of giving back to Ombe, for all what Ombe gave back to me. It's usually a little difficult to do things individually, but it's much more easier and even more powerful if you can collectively do things. And so the only vehicle to get that done had to be an alumni organization that comes together, for which every member has a common interest. The common interest is the school. And so for several years, we talked about it with my friend Paul Sir, And in 2019, we decided that, you know what, I think it's time for us to sit back and actually put our words to action. And so in my house, we launched the organization. A few months later, we met again, and we decided that we're going to find a way to actually begin fundraising. And on that occasion, we actually raised a lot of money. And that's why successfully in May this year, we actually provided the college and the students pipe-borne water that never had for the last 10 years. So all of this effort is now coming to fruition with this inaugural event today. And so as you see, there's a lot of people the enthusiasm is high, it's almost palpable, people are excited. They've come from all over the continental USA. You name what state in the USA they came from. So it's really been very fruitful.
So, okay, granted this is the first, inaugural event. What do you plan in the coming years?
Oh, wonderful. We have, we're looking at moving this organization to heights that, that we can only imagine. And what we've decided to do is, we had a very good deliberation this morning, and people had so many good ideas. And so at the end of the convention, we intend to come up with convention resolutions, which will be very practical, concrete steps on how to move the organization forward. Especially how do you gain, even those who are not here, to get them really moved, really engaged, such that somebody can actually, can actually sacrifice in terms of the resources, because we need those resources and ideas to move the organization forward.
That is wonderful. I heard you talk about the water project. I read about how it went and how the inauguration went. Now, are we following in the same light with forthcoming projects?
Yes, absolutely. There was a little bit of complexity when it comes to dealing with Ombe College. And because of the uniqueness that because Ombe College is a government institution, you just cannot go and do anything. And you cannot carry a program that runs for a long time because it's a government institution. So what you do is you identify very specific projects and go in and do them and get out. That's how we deal with these things. And what we're planning to do is to work in partnership with the PTA, the Parent Teacher Association, and Ombe College, because it's an entity that government encourages and for which there's no so much government oversight or administrative bottlenecks to them. So they're quasi-independent. Mm-hmm. So we can work with them, identify the needs that they have. Of course, these needs have to be those that benefit the students primarily. Mm-hmm. And so once we decide on those needs, and then we'll sort of prioritize them, and then we'll see cost them, and then we'll see what next step we have to take to be able to raise funds. We've just registered this organization, but we plan, as time goes on, to become a nonprofit for one.
Okay. So in identifying these projects, do you have occasion to have consulted with the students to see what their needs are before deciding on what we needed to do?
Right. That's a good question. Typically, sometimes people come up with crazy projects that are not very useful for the recipients. But in this case, especially the water project, it was such of vital importance. But before we decided on it, we talked to the principal of the school. We talked to the PTA director, and it was almost a no-brainer that water was actually the one important thing that they needed. Because like I mentioned earlier, for 10 years they don't have pipeline water. They have to go as far as Motengene, miles away to go get water. And if you consider all the risks that's involved in doing that, transportation, all of that is just too much. So it was very clear. I mean, the decision was very easy to make that water is what they really needed.
Okay.
And so we consulted a few firms that do that kind of work in terms of boreholes, and that's where we began.
So I can see, everybody can see that you're very successful. You've been successful. What would you tell the students, current Ombe students that are going in? What would you tell them? What advice, anything at all that you have? You can
Right,
share.
right. So I think the most important thing about success in life is that you have to have an open mind, especially when you're a young person. When you're young, don't think that because you've gone to Ombe and you say you're doing carpentry or building, that's what limits you. No. You must have a broad mind, say, okay, maybe as time goes on, something else may come up. I may see these opportunities and then grab them. That's exactly what happened to me. Because when I left Ombe College, I graduated in June. I decided that I was going to write the General Certificate of Education O-levels. And I said a year was too much for me to wait. So I picked up books and read them on my own. And by June the following year, or by January, I registered for the exams. In June, I wrote and I passed. And so it sort of changed my career path in a way. It's no longer the craftsman that I was trained to be as a bricklayer. I sort of evolved in my thinking. So what I'll advise the students to do is that do not pigeonhole yourself to one because you've started at that level or with a certain career. That's exactly where you're going to go. No, you may do that. You may turn out to be the best welder or the best motor mechanic. That's okay, but still have an open mind to say, okay, I'd like to learn, and if the wave of your thought carries you somewhere that will be beneficial to you, just follow it.
Okay. So it's very obvious that not everybody thinks like you. Not everybody has an open mind like you. Now, what is it that we can do? Ombe, all students, what is it that we can do to maybe impart that, that idea of notion of mindset, having an open mindset to the young people that are going on?
Well, I think one way of doing this thing is to teach by example. And I'm hoping that at some point along the line, maybe 2, 3, 4 years, it will become almost a routine that we live here and go down to Cameroon, to Ombe College, and just have a discussion with the students. Assemble them and just tell them about our experiences. There's nothing that you cannot know what you don't know, right? So somebody has to come and tell you something, and tell their experience, share their experience with you. And sometimes the challenges too. And it begins to let you begin to think a little differently. Okay, so it's not just getting up in the morning and making sure that your blocks are well laid. Somebody can come and say, you know what, I used to do this, but this is what happened and this is what happened. So it begins to change their mindset. Mind, as you know, is a very powerful tool. You got to let it explore other opportunities.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to hold everybody. I'm just saying this is a great event, the inaugural event, and from here, we're going to expect big things to come. Thank you very much, Dr. Agbo, and have fun.
Thank you so much.
You're very
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Okay.
All right.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
You look so gorgeous and beautiful. You're welcome. So, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Constance Tolefak. I went to GTHS Ombe in 2003. So I went straight to Form 2 because I was a very bright student. I didn't get into Form 1. So basically, I spent 6 years in GTHS Ombe. I graduated in 2012, 11th. So then I went to Enyedin Bengui. I spent 9 months there. I graduated in 2012. I was a part-time teacher in Fedco Motengene. I was also nominated for the GCE to control the technical GCE in Foods and Nutrition Department, which it took place in GTHS Tico. So I think that was my last event I did in Cameroon. Then God bless me, I won the DV lottery, then came to America. Presently, right now, I live in Maryland. I'm in my final year in Stanford University doing my BSM in nursing.
So, okay. That's quite a lot. So, what did you do in Ombe?
I did food and nutrition. I did food and nutrition.
Food and nutrition.
Yeah, food and
Okay, so give me some little principles or little things that Ombe did for you that has resulted in you now.
Oh, what can I say? I can say Ombe did a lot in my life. Ombe changed my life because that particular field was something that I had passion for. I've always loved cooking, so it was kind of something that I have passion in it. So I did it like a call. It was a call to me. Ombe transformed me because I was the SP in my batch. Then I also played in the school team. So it introduced me to how I can face the crowd by like talking to the school, talk to the students. So it has impacted me a lot. If not the certificate that I acquired from Ombe, I wouldn't have been in America today because it was for my baccalaureate. When I passed the DV lottery, that qualifies me. Then with my diploma from the teacher's training. So I can say Ombe has impacted my life a lot, a lot. So from the skill I learned in food and nutrition, I have done a lot. I do catering, I do cakes, I do decor. It's just because of my school schedule right now, I'm not really into it because of the tight schedule. Yeah, I can say Ombe has done a lot for me. Yeah.
So, as we can see, it seems like there's a lot of excitement around here. What do you foresee for this association going forward?
Let me say, I was so impressed when they told me about it yesterday by Uncle Valley. That was my first time of hearing it. So I couldn't make it yesterday, but I was here this morning when we held the first meeting. And it was very educative. Then I feel honored and blessed to be amongst my seniors, my uncles, my daddy. It's like a privilege to me. So when they were deliberating about some points, how to like develop Ombe, you know, I didn't really partake in it, but I can tell you I grabbed so many things from them. Yeah.
Anything you can say to others, students back home that are going up, or those who want to get into Ombe? Do you have anything, encouragement to say to them?
I would say at first when I was growing up, people think that technical school was for dull students. It's not for dull students. You must have that passion, you must have that skill. And in anything that you do in life, do it perfectly, do it wholeheartedly. It will take you somewhere. Ombe is a place to be. It has changed my life and it has changed so many people's lives. So I encourage you, don't give up, pay attention, do not be distracted by the society. It won't help you. Your education first.
Could you tell us who you are again?
Say that again?
Your name?
My name is Constance Tolefak.
Hi, Constance. It was good talking to you. Have a good evening and enjoy the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Fine, thanks. Are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Welcome to this occasion. I would like you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
My My name is Lawrence Sir. I'm an Ombe ex-student.
Yeah.
I graduated in 1980.
Let's stand like this so
87.
that we can get to the cameras. Okay.
I graduated in 1987
Okay.
from carpentry and joinery trade. I live here in Wisconsin. Now presently I'm an energy management engineer.
Okay. So I see we here inaugurating the Ombe, you know, inaugurating the ex-students association. So could you tell something about Ombe? How Ombe impacted you to be who you are today?
Yes, what I am today is because of Ombe. Ombe is a great school where they have many trades that we learn. As a first year, we have to do a lot of orientation with different trades. We have carpentry, motor mechanic, electricity, building and construction, machine metal and welding. All those trades during our first year, we have to go through all those trades. So what makes us great as a great institution, we have an idea in all those fields. For example, a motor mechanic, you're able to learn, the axis of a car, or maybe a carpentry shop, you're able to know to make joints, and in building shop, you're able to know different type of bonds, and so on and so forth, all the trade. So, and the discipline at the school at that time was so powerful that helped us to become, have that discipline. So when we go out in the society, we're able to face the society and come out successful.
So how did Ombe make you who you are today? What are the principles? What are the things that you picked from Ombe that guided you or pushed you to be where you are today?
Yeah, as I said, the discipline and the curriculum itself. So those are the cornerstones of a technical school, Ombe, and being also in the dormitory. Those are one of the things that to live with other people that you've never seen before, and you leave home, and at the age of 12, you become independent. So those are the things that make you become so confident and so independent after leaving Ombe.
So are you still pursuing what you did in Ombe today?
I'm not really pursuing exactly what I did in Ombe per se, because Ombe gave us the fundamental. So today I'm doing energy management engineering because I'm in America. Maybe I was in Cameroon, it might not be possible, because when I graduated in Ombe with in carpentry, and I went to high school. I did electrical technology. So today I'm doing energy management. So that is what gave us the ability to able to divert from one career to the other as a foundation of Ombe itself, as the orientation that went through those trades, and is able to, at any level, people are able to, to change their career.
So what would you tell the young students who are still in Ombe today, or students who want to get into Ombe? What advice can you give them?
Yeah, the students want to come to Ombe. I want to tell them to know that Ombe is not only about learning the trade. You have to know other subjects like mathematics, I'll give you the ability for critical thinking, physics as well. So when you're coming to Ombe, you have to know that it's there not only for you to learn a skill, but also use that skill for become successful and be able to make you to become an entrepreneur, and not only fixing things, able to make things. And what is an engineer is about solving problems, looking for solutions to solve problems that may help mankind.
Well, thank you again. Could you say who you are again for those who did not hear at the beginning?
As I said, my name is Lawrence. I was admitted in 1982, and I did carpentry and joinery. I'm presently living in Wisconsin, and I'm energy management engineer at the moment.
Thank you, Mr. Sa. Hope you have a good evening.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to talk to you.
Thank you for talking to me. It's
You're
a
welcome.
pleasure.
All right. Hello. Good evening, Mr. Sa. Good evening. Welcome. And I'd like you to say a few words about yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Zama. When you say talk about yourself, it's very broad. But I'll try to keep it focused with respect to Ombe. What Ombe means to me and what it's been for me. As a young man growing up in Limbe, Victoria at the time, I might add, we went to grade school, finished, and when I finished secondary school, Ombe was not part of the plan. The plan was for me to attend the then PSS Kumba, which is today PHS Kumba. So I went for the interview and I got waitlisted. Time flew by. My dad said, oh, well, it's becoming too expensive to go to Kumba. Why don't we look for an alternative? Well, as God would design it, that same year they transferred my late uncle, Sandio Rene, as principal of Ombe. So he came to the house and told my mother that he's been transferred to Ombe and asked, what is this young man doing? So my mother said he just finished grade school, he's ready for college. So he said it was a Saturday that he was going to Douala to meet his family because he had just been transferred recently. Okay, all right. So, and yeah, oh, okay, yeah, okay. So he told me, he said, come back on Tuesday, and we'll be good to go. I had to wait from Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. By 11 a.m., I bounced through the golden gates of the then Government Technical College, Ombe. Went to his office. I was admitted. Hence, I became a student in Government Technical College, Ombe. After Ombe, I worked as a draftsman in town. Later on, I went to high school, came back, worked some more, raised enough funds to further my studies here in the U.S. So, Ombe, it's everything that it's everything for me.
Well, thank you for that. And we're here today because we're doing the inaugural event of the Ombe All Students Association. And you have been the principal person who saw this organization, come from birth onto what it is. Could you tell us what was the impetus behind you starting this?
Thank you. There is always a genesis. Everything we do. For far too long, we've been contemplating why is it that we are so many. We've been around for 70 years today. We are all over the world, in America, in Cameroon, in Europe, in China, you name it, you have our presence there. But up until 5 years ago, when this whole idea came to bear, we had not been able to organize ourselves on a global scale. So, sometime in 2015 or thereabout, I traveled to Houston to attend a wake-keep for my wife's uncle who had passed away. He was Soban and the widow Sekaret. On a Friday night, sat in the hall, and I saw the display of alumni support. I saw the pride in which ex-students of a particular school came together to rally behind their own. And I left that room that night and I asked myself, what shall we do if this were to happen to us? I came back home, called my very good friend who's the president of Ombe, of Oosa, North America. I said, Bo, this is what I've experienced. I went on and established
a WhatsApp group. And the WhatsApp group grew from one to where we are today, about 270 members worldwide. We have members in Cameroon, in America, in Nigeria, in South Africa, in Canada, in England, in the UK. So I have members all over the place. And the idea behind this global concept is to be able to reach every single ex-student in any part of the world that they are. We meet every day, we chat every day. Friends get to meet their schoolmates, their classmates, junior ones, senior ones on a daily basis without restrictions.
Thank you. So you have laid out the reason for this organization and what you've done to get this to where. So where are we heading to from here?
Thank you, Mr. Zama. As you know very well, we just recently completed a water supply project for the school. The project was recorded at $16,000, between 8 and 9 million francs CFA. Members contributed from Cameroon, from here in the US, from Canada, from Nigeria, from South Africa, and the project was realized in under 12 months. That same project was officially handed over to the institution May of 2022 in the presence of the regional delegate of secondary education, Dr. Hannah Mbua, and the principal of GTC Ombe, Mrs. Elizabeth Mewanu Motoko, and the regional delegate of education, Dr. Lisinge. So it's our pride to say that in under 2 years, we've been able to deliver a project that, with that magnitude that most other institutions are still talking about, in spite of our infancy. Thank you.
That is wonderful. I want to thank you. I know that this occasion we're just starting. It's a birth. What would you say to students? Students who are back in Ombe and students who want to go to Ombe.
Thank you. What I would say to the kids who are in Ombe today is that please do not take 40 years to give back. It took us that long because we're not organized. But I believe that we are setting the template and the platform for you guys to use that, take it to your advantage, and go forward and do bigger things, better things, and sooner. Because when we were there, I saw that we only came 40 years later after we left the school. It was good, but it was sad. We could have done it before. So the younger people who are coming from behind, expedite your support, give back to that school, because without which you may never attain your full potential. And for those who are aspiring to go to Ombe, keep hopes alive, never give up on your dreams, stay focused, work hard, and do what you need to do, and you'll be fine.
I want to thank you very much for taking this time to talk to us. I know this is a work in progress, and we'll keep coming back to the projects that you have in mind. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Powell.
Thank you.
All right. No, give me come out here. Hello, good evening. Well, you look so fabulous.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, I know you're here for the Ombe inaugural event. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I am called Nesla Alemandri. I am a fashion designer, also a senior cosmetologist. I just graduated from a senior cosmetology school. I specialize in beautician. We are here for our convention, Ombe ex-Students Convention, which is taking place today in Maryland. I'm an ex-student of Ombe.
Could you, now we want to get you to the camera so that we can show the camera. So this is good.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So you're an ex-student. Could you tell us what Ombe means to you?
Ombe means a lot to me, as I can say, because Ombe has empowered me a lot, especially technical school. If not of Ombe, I wouldn't have been hardworking as I am today, being as a designer, international business lady, thanks to Ombe.
So are these things that you learn in Ombe?
Excuse me?
Are these what you're doing today?
No, back in the days, I did home economics. That home economics, it deals with food and nutrition. As a home economics student, we were doing like a general knowledge, like chemistry, physics, and all those things, but I specialized in home economics.
So how did you transition from home economics to what you're doing today? And I tell you why I'm asking that. Because we still have students in Ombe. We still have students who want to go to Ombe. So I want to let you know, you to let them know what's possible coming out of Ombe.
Yeah, for me, Ombe is a very good school, especially technical school. In global, technical schools are good school. Even though our government, today, we don't really encourage us, some of us going to technical school. I would have loved to send one of my daughter or my son to technical education. Because today, if you look around, most of the people, those big times in town, they own big businesses, they are from Ombe.
Okay, I know also that you were instrumental in getting this event going on today. So what is your take on the way forward?
The way forward is, we are so happy. This is our first convention, so we are so happy. We are so happy to meet today, socializing our ex-students, our classmates, and we really pray that we will carry this organization forward to do better next time.
Well, I don't want to hold you too much. I'll let you go enjoy. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you too. You're welcome.
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Good to see you. Could you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm an ex-student of Ombe, and I graduated in '81 in the building construction department, and then on I had to leave the country when I traveled to the U.S. and I went to the University of Michigan, graduated in electrical engineer, switched my subjects from building construction to electrical engineering. So now finally, I've been working with the big three, the automotive industry for over 23 years, building cars for the next generation.
So how do you say Ombe impacted you? What part did Ombe play in who you are today?
See, everything starts from the foundation. Without a solid foundation, a real structure cannot be put up. So, with the background of the Ombe indoctrination, I grew up there. I was born close by there, and then I grew up there. Then, from there, every atmosphere in developing myself came from my role models, which my parents that were there, instructed us, and everybody that grew up around there gave us the values to be able to sustain a real good career and a life to help others. So with that, that's where the foundation that I grew up in, which created and gave me the solid stand for me to do anything I want to do in the life. I wanted to be an architecture, but it was the environment changed my mind to become an electrical engineer.
So, what would you say to the students who are in Ombe right now, or students who want to go to Ombe? What advice would you give them?
The only advice I can give them is just build your foundation and listen to your instructors. They'll give you the values, the core values for you to progress in life. Without foundation, you can do anything you want to do in the world. So far as you're determined and your mind is placed on that article, the price that you are looking for.
Mr. Valendekwa, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for giving this time to me.
Thank you. You're welcome, Mr.